Hi guys, welcome back to my coding corner, and this is the first one I've done of these in ages. So we're going to add the answer section to each of the generators that I've got open, the add, the subtract, the divide and the multiply. I wanted to do something with the divide one, the division generator, but we'll get to that later on in the video. But for now, I just want to unlock the generate and close buttons because I need to add a label Let's unlock that as well. Perfect place to put that. And we'll call it equals label. As such. And then we'll make that equals that. And then we'll do a text box. I'm just going to copy this one over. Oh, so my properties dialog has disappeared. And the property window has disappeared. So answer text. And then we'll make that false for read only. And I'll unlock that as well. We'll put them over here as well. And then we get to work out the size. So we've got the size here at the moment of 854. We'll do 855. And then let's debug that. See what that looks like. Yeah, of course that needs to be re-enabled. Because that's the one you need to edit. Let's try that again. Yeah, I'm going to have to adjust the height of that by, I'm going to try. So we've got 210. Let's do 225. I know it looks a bit off center what you've got in the design, but when you open it up, you get to see it better that way. Then I may just, let's have a look at 224. 223. $222. So 855 by 222. Let's try that. Right. It's going to take a while for me to toy about with this. Hopefully not. 220. It's better. Yeah, so it's 855 by 220 will be what we'll have here. And then I just need to remember what we've got there on the location side. 691. So yeah, I need to remember 691. Let's do a copy of those. And then 855, 220, 691. I nearly went for the size then. That would have been massive. And then I just want to make sure 441, 443 and 508, that should be, yeah, just move them along by 2. And then we'll do the same with these. 855, 220, add 250 to that, and to that, to the location that is. Let's have a look at everything's being consistent. Needs to be. And I've locked the screen, I've locked the form on that, but I can at least generate those. I can then still adjust the size even if I can't do it manually. That's not a problem. And then we go 2 to there, and 2 to there. And that's all consistent, and that's all the forms done. Next thing I want to do, let's clear out the zeros of each one. There's something I want to do with the division form, but that will happen later on in the video. Take care of those. And then forgive my mum, she's trying to distract me while I'm coding. And we've done that, everything's saved, and now we can work on we'll do a form load on that. let's cut that, and I shall stick that here. And then that takes me up to 17 lines of code. Let me generate that. That's what I need. That works. And then we'll do the divide form as well. Let's cut that. And then we'll try the divide form as well. Oh, so something's happened. Let's try that again. Conversion from string to type double is not valid. Yeah, I think I know where I've gone wrong. This is what I did originally. Let's restart that. There were build errors. Yeah, there we go. Oh, come on. Let's try it now. Yeah, what I'm going to do in this one, what I'm going to do in this instance is I'm going to do number 2 text.text, because there's one thing I forgot to do. String to type double. And that would work. And that is on the division form. Let me click stop on that for now. I'm going to put a number in that 5. The only way that I can avoid any That's the only way that I can avoid any division of decimals. The only way that I can avoid decimals. And until I can find a way that I can do other numbers avoiding that, I'll then update it in this app. But that was what I needed to do. And that works as well. Then we're doing multiply. And then I'll still put that. I need to do a new line on that. And then I'll just add these two lines. Don't need to worry about I was going to say don't need to worry about debugging, but I will anyway. Because we know it works. And then it just leaves subtract. We need to have an empty line here. That takes care of that, and everything is up to date with the form loading. Next thing I want to look at will be the answer. There's the answer code. So I do the generator. So if answer text.text is greater than that, we will generate button dot enabled equals true, else and that should hopefully take care of that. But before I do that, I need to disable the generator button as well. And then we'll just check that. That works. And then what I'll do is I'll copy that into all the others. And then I'll copy that there as well. And then I can go into sorting out the generate button. But first off, what I need to do is declare the correct answer as an integer. Clever that it automatically completes it for you. It's almost as if they know what I want to do. And I'll copy that elsewhere. I'll copy that everywhere else. And then I'll save that. And then we do correct answer equals number 1 text.text plus number 2 text.text, and then if correct answer equals answer text.text, we'll do this. Answer text.text equals just that. And then else if let me just try and do just an else on that. And then I'll debug that. I'm going to get it wrong first. Well, that's the else if bit that works. And I'm going to get it right this time, 81. Well, that didn't work. Let's switch them round. Let me just try and switch them round and then see what happens. No, that didn't work either. Need to try and remember what I did. But join me back in a bit, because I'll just have a quick look as to what I've done, and then I'll correct it accordingly. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. And you just joined me as I'm going to try and correct the error on here. So there's one thing I forgot to do, and that is to convert the numbers, or convert the text boxes into numbers. Which I'm going to quickly do and then try it. Right, 97. Yeah, now it's done. 89. I'm going to try and purposely get one wrong, and then get it right. That's 81. And that works. Now what I'm going to do, because that works, is I'm going to copy that. Well, I've definitely saved a line of code because it was just an else that it needed. And then I'll do copy. And just upgrade the generate button that way. And then what we've got from the load form, we can then just copy and paste that as such. And then what I'll do is I'll test them all out when it's done. At least for this one, I just need to make that 11, which I've just done. Didn't want you to do that, but you did it anyway. And then we'll do number 1 text.text. Because I don't want any minus numbers. And now here comes the moment of truth. Do they all work? Right, let's give a wrong answer here. Get it right, that's 113. Now it's not 123. That works. We'll do subtraction next. Let's get that wrong. Get it right. Yeah, of course, there's one thing I forgot to do in all the while that I was getting excited about doing that, and that's to change the operations on the code, or should I say in the code. Darren, you idiot. Try again. You know, that works. Let's get it wrong. Let's get it right. Now it works. And then we have, let's get that wrong. Get it right. And then divide, well, let's get it wrong. Let's get it right. Everything works. And then what I'll do, just now I know that everything works, I'm going to close all that off. And then I'm going to go into my What's New app, my What's New folder, just quickly put in, I'm going to update this. I am actually going to rename this app as in my Coding Corner. And then I'm going to turn this into a text box if I haven't, it is a text box. And I'm going to turn this into a text box. And then I'll go 25th of June 2026. And that will be done. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.